This is a Power 98.7 podcast. Now we're talking. Subscribe to Power 98.7 podcasts in iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. There's more on power987.co.za.
Bongile Bodibe, who's joining us from the Queen Madonsela Stimulation Centre for the Disabled. And we know very well that Bonamelo has been doing a lot of work with the foundation, just going into communities and changing lives. And I guess that is why he's got this huge smile on his face because of the impact, right? And this morning we'll just be going into the work that they've been doing over time and looking at what is to come. Remember the food drive the last time that he was here was talking about the food drive, but this morning we're talking about the fun walk that will be taking place, and we're seeing that he's not doing it alone. We're talking about growth of air, and this is where then there's more impact. When we grow, then there's impact, and that's how then we change lives. So we have Bonamelo Melisizwe Foundation just joining us this morning to the top of 3. You're welcome at home to just call in and form part of the conversation this morning as we are talking about changing lives. So if you want to be part of this, regime of changing lives, impactful people, do join in the center. We're in the zone as we speak right now, and we'll be doing it to the hour 3 o'clock. Looking forward to just getting a sense of how then we can play our part as well in the communities that we come from, because we've seen that this fun walk will be taking place in Daveyton, and then we'll see how then you at home can also start your own mini fun walk for your own community, just using Bonamelo here and the work that they've been doing over time. We're on 0861 987 000. There by X, we go by @power987, and then we also railing behind the hashtag PowerZone this morning. I am at Katlego Legodi _ so do go there. Let's engage as well. Push it to 3 o'clock as we talk about philanthropy at its best this particular morning. So we have 2 guests in studio, and I'm glad that there's the gender balance as well, because Asongile is here, because often you'd see that it's a boys club, it will be me, it will be Bonamelo, it will be Boo in the studio, but then before you know it, someone will be saying, Hormara guys, where's the female voice? This time around we're catering for you at home in bringing us Bongile to form part of the show this morning. Bonamelo, it's good to see you. It's good to have you back, and we know that when we have you on the show, we're talking about development, we're talking about growth, we're talking about impactful just work that you've been doing over time. Maybe before we go into the work that you've been doing over time, for someone that is not privy or doesn't understand or know your foundation, just give us a sense of who you are as a foundation and the work that you're doing, and how we find you now teaming up with Osbongile here in terms of the work that you've been doing with the community.
Good morning, Katlego, and thank you for the opportunity once again. It's always great to be here, and good morning to your listeners as well. A wonderful family of Power Family listeners. So we appreciate this opportunity, and I'm the founder and chair of Bonamelo Melisizwe Foundation. We are founded in Daveyton to serve the Daveyton area currently, as we are on our growth journey. So we were established formally January 2022. So we are heading towards the 2-year mark. And since then, we've been growing through our close network of friends and family. And we've managed to, I think, reel in a few promising partners through very impactful collaborations recently. From our food drive last year in December, it went very well. Thank you once again for providing us, with the platform to just appeal to people to assist us in that, and it was very impactful. We've since then did something for our old age home in the community as well. We then did a sanitary pad drive that was targeting schoolgirls. It was an outreach for 500 school learners, grade 6s and 7s, a collaboration again with one of the foundations in the area, the 100% Foundation. So that was massive as well. One of our biggest events this year. Then for Youth Day, that's when we started being introduced to Queen Madonsela Stimulation Centre for the disabled, What an honor and a privilege in the work that we are doing. And I've got no words. We were so touched. They're such a powerhouse, And of course, I'll let Ausbongile do her own introductions because, you cannot tell her story better than she can. So that's amazing. But as a foundation, we are humbled by the steady growth that the Lord, is giving us.
Yeah, it's been 2 years of grace. When you look at it, I mean, looking at what you're saying to me, I'm just thinking that this guy is gonna just give me an update on the food drive and say that, we're looking forward to another food drive. But we see you saying, no, in between the food drive and where we are, there are other activities as well. So that speaks to just you putting your heart in what you do every day and changing lives and always just being strategic, right? Coming through with ideas that will tend to change people's life and be impactful. And I guess if you were not on this drive, you wouldn't have met Ausbongile here. If you had just left it to the food drive and be like, food is the way, we're just pushing it and limiting it there to this food drive, then we wouldn't have seen you and just get those partnerships and really attract the right people that would move the foundation and the impact. More than anything else, it's about impact, right?
Absolutely.
Just ensuring that you change people's lives. You just never know how much of a long way that can go for someone who would just even say to you, I just needed an ear, man. I didn't need you to give me much. I didn't need money. I just needed you to give me an ear. Listen to me, make me feel like I really matter. So this is why we always talk about impact. And I'm glad that you're not alone and we're growing and there's a network of people that are doing great. And this is where we find the Queen Madonsela Stimulation Centre for the Disabled. Ausbongile, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Katlego, and the listeners at home.
It's so lovely to have you on. And please don't be shy. Let's talk. It's a safe space. So we're looking forward to just getting to understand and know the work that you guys are doing there at Queen Madonsela. And how does it feed into the work that Bonamelo has been doing over time?
Queen Madonsela, we are an NPO organization working with kids with different disabilities. But at the moment, we are catering for kids living with cerebral palsy and kids living with autism. Due to our space that is limited, that's why we're dealing with these two different disabilities. Yes, and then the organization was registered in 2015, and then we started operating in 2016. So we started operating in a small 2-room. By the grace of God, we managed to move into a 4-room house.
Nice.
Got it extended. And then, we got more people involved, but we were having challenges, a lot of challenges, up until we met Mr. Bonamelo and Bonamelo Melisizwe. So basically, Queen Madonsela is located in Etwatwa, in Emapopeni.
Yeah.
We are serving the community of Etwatwa at the moment, but we do have kids from different locations as well. It depends when they call looking for a space, and then we assess the child come, and then we take it from there. So basically, we are still a developing center.
Yeah, I mean, yours is a very huge task. I mean, I can never even start to imagine how mammoth of a task it is to impact and just try to make a difference in people's lives. Because really, when you look at it, one can say that you are thrusted into some sort of a foreign situation where then maybe you give birth to a child, and then the child, you find that the child has a particular sort of an issue or a challenge or limitation, where then you need to see the community rallying behind the work that you're doing over time, and people that would tell you that it's okay, you have a space, you have somewhere where you can just basically offload and relax and know that you are not alone. Because when you think of it, it can become a lonely kind of space as a parent, where you were so happy that this bundle of joy and because of the unknown, and then things happen and you find yourself here. Did you see a lot of people now even coming out? Because one would say that in this particular space where you're talking about issues of autism, you're talking about issues of, health issues, you'd find that in this particular sense, some people tend to shy away from being open about the fact that, hey, I have a child that is living with a disability, or I have a child that has limitations here and there, and I need someone to help me. So it's still some sort of a taboo where you see people, instead of speaking out, they hide because they don't know how to navigate that particular space. But we're seeing you trying to close that gap.
Yes, I wouldn't lie to you, Katlego. It's not easy. It's not even easy for the parents. And I don't think it will be easy for the siblings as well. Because at home, I had a sister. She had CP. Unfortunately, she passed on early this year in January. So it's not easy, because first of all, you need to understand what kind of a disability the child is living with, because it has levels. Some of them are severe. Like my sister, she was very severe. She couldn't do anything by herself. So we're supposed to help her. So it same applies with the kids that we're dealing with at Queen Madonsela Stimulation Centre. They are very severe. And you find that the community, most of the time, they do not understand what is disability. Because when you talk of disability, they just think you're talking of something that cannot move, cannot do anything. Hence, I always say that they are not disabled, but they are living with disabilities. Because they do have some things that they can do. Some of them can walk, some of them can use their hands, so they're just living with a certain disability. So it's really not easy. Even for the parents talking about this disability, it's really not easy. Even finding homes for them, finding schools for them, it's quite a it's not that much easier for them to access those services, more especially in our location. So I think basically that's when I decided to open the center, because I saw a need in our community, and I also saw how was my sister treated. So then I decided, you know what, let me build a home. There's nothing much that we can offer, but we can offer love and care for the kids and make sure that they are well taken care of, and make them feel at home, make them feel loved, make them realize that we're also human beings, even though we have this difficulty or we have this situation, but we are still human beings. So I think it's vital important for us to create awareness and make our community aware that there are people, they are alive. But due to limited resources, that's very hard.
Yeah, that's a challenge, and I was gonna also come there to say that really we see you moving from a two room to a 4-room now. We're seeing your responsibility becoming greater because of the fact that by word of mouth, then people would know that no, we have to go to Queen Madonsela. This is where we can get some sort of a release, some sort of relief and assistance and understanding, love, warmth, and care, which is what you are advocating for. Meaning that you would need some sort of support, you would need resources, you would need something to keep you going, so as to find that this was just something that was short-lived, but you continue, you carry it through, and you continue to change people's lives. Really, just let us in on how difficult is it to operate. Let's start by saying in a township space where, like you say, there are limitations there already, and also just getting support from the likes of government and the private sector in helping to intervene in this particular regard. Do you see the greater need for just resources to be channeled so that you can be able to even impact more lives and not be limited to just the space that you're confined in, the 4-room, and just the people of Etwato?
Yes, we really need help in terms of from all aspects, from the private sector and from our public sector as well, because we need to comply. Like, we are registered with the social development, but there are things that we still need to fix as a center so that the social development can kick in and fund us, because at the moment we are not funded. We are surviving from donations. Yes. And if we didn't get donations, it means it's going to be difficult for us. Yes. So if we could get just donation, get help, get many companies to kick in. We're also looking for a bigger space because there are many disabled kids outside. So with our limited space, we can't cater for everyone, because sometimes they come looking for a space and I will no, I can't cater for the specific child due to the space. Yes, so if we could just get more donors, more people who are willing to come and help us. It can be resources, it can be any kind of donation that people can offer for us to make it easy for the kids, to make the center more homely, more warm for the kids. Yeah, I think we really need help because we've got many challenges.
Yeah, no, look, you're not alone. I'm here. Bonamelo is here. So it means that she's here. Who's here? So it means there's like an impact of some sort. And we'll just try by all means to also just spread it out to the PowerZone family and everyone that is listening from Power 987 to just rally behind the work that you're doing. And which is why then we find Bonamelo coming through with a fun walk, because it's not just a walk. It's about also just educating people about where we find ourselves and how they can also just rally behind what Queen Madonsela is doing here, and just pushing to ensure that there's intervention and you help people within the communities. Just let us in on how close to home. I know it's close to home with her because of the sister, but do you perhaps really relate in terms of how then we see you just incorporated in the work that they're doing as an organization, and even planning a fun walk here where then the community will be invited to just rally behind changing lives?
Katlego, like I said earlier, Sibongile's story is so powerful, and my closest relation to it is the heart game. We try to I would say live out our mission statement, which says everyone deserves a helping hand, and that's why we exist as a foundation. We exist to help. So we've got two key focus areas being poverty intervention and youth development, So that includes community outreach. It includes expanding our family, and essentially being used as an instrument to help. And when you talk a heart game, it doesn't have to make sense. Where there's a need, we will jump in and make sure that we come in with everything that we have. And we're inspired to have this fun walk to do exactly that for Queen Madonsela Stimulation Centre. When we met, there's only so much that we could do as a foundation. And then we realized that, really in people and support, because you do have people who believe in the work that we do. And therefore, let's give everyone an opportunity to be aware that there is Queen Madonsela out there, and let's really support for that. So the Fun Walk is a fundraiser to create that awareness and support. And I love how Sibongile is putting it that, any kind of donations that are in the name of help will go a long way. Sometimes you just need one more person who knows one more person.
True.
And that alone can bring about a very huge difference in their everyday life.
Yeah, and also, I love the fact that Osbongile is talking about the heart, and you're also touching on the heart, that it goes a long way when you are deeply connected with it. We saw disaster coming out of the Life Esidimeni incident, where there was you could see that there was no heart to really this approach from governments and the likes, and we're still seeing that inquest continue in terms of trying to get to the bottom of what is happening. But at the end of the day, it speaks to, issues of relations, right? Issues of development, where then you wouldn't want to see someone that is living with a disability just forgotten. We don't want them to be the forgotten, the part of the society. Like you're saying, is just that, we are abled in different ways. All right. And right now I can't say I'm the jack of all trades. I'm also limited somewhere, which is how then we should see it. That maybe probably your limitations are not clear limitations, but we do all have our own journeys and our own limitations, which is why then the approach with heart is something that is going to really, really matter here. And I guess this is what then we should also be taking to the communities to say we need a caring community. community as we go about our daily lives, whatever you have that really is extra, maybe just spare a thought for someone that will be in need of just that kind of intervention. And just never know how far it can go to really change their lives.
Absolutely, Katlego. Absolutely. And one of the main drivers of this fundraiser is towards the compliance that Bonamelo mentioned earlier. Getting to the point of being compliant is very expensive.
Yeah.
Some people might not be aware. You might just think it's completing a document there and a form there and submitting it. But it's only but a first step, you know. Queen Madonsela Stimulation Centre wants to grow. But in order to do that, we need to make sure that where they are currently, you know, they are as effective as possible. And that requires the Department of Health to be able to be brought on board as well, to give them a certificate or some sort of validation to say that we recognize you as one of our centers who's doing good in the community. So the fundraising initiative through the Fun Walk is also to make sure that the proceeds go towards those initiatives. You know, most of them are about infrastructural sort of improvement. So that we know that costs a lot of money whenever you have to touch a wall, buy a brick, a cement, or something like that. So creating a safer space as well, you know, for those children that they are taking care of, creating a more conducive sort of caregiving environment for the caregivers as well, you know, creating a space where the community can be proud to actually say that there is Queen Madonsela around the corner, and I know that my child will be safe, my child will be well taken care of, which is what they stand for. And they need all of us to come together and help resource them the best way we can. And the best we can do is the best we are doing.
And also, when you look at it then, Bongile, would you say that there's a need for more of you know, stimulation centers like yours in the communities, looking at the fact that how vast of an outlet people are needing right now? They need an outlet, they need a safe space, they need understanding, they need love, care and warmth, which is why then you find that when you find yourself in that position where you have a child that is living with disabilities, you almost feel like you're alone, right? You almost feel misunderstood. Some people even stop going to church because you don't know what to expect and the likes. Would you say that really after you having moved to open this stimulation center, you've seen a lot of people just approaching you, and you would really then see the need for a lot of these communities, you know, be it in Soweto, be it in Tembisa, be it in Seshego or anywhere, there is a need for us to have more of these centers that would tend to be outlets, would tend to be safe spaces for the young ones and also for the parents, because of the fact that there are also mental health issues that kick in when you feel like you're alone and you're misunderstood, and which is why then would see the greater need for support in communities specifically.
Definitely, we do need more of these institutions, because personally, I feel that people living with disabilities are neglected. Because if you could look in our area, the whole Etwatwa, we don't have a well-developed stimulation center. If you look at the whole of Daveyton, we don't have a well-developed stimulation center that deals with severe kids. Because I see that most of the severe ones, they are the ones that are being neglected.
True.
Because when you're looking for a school for an autistic child, some of them, they are still in nappies. And the schools will say, no, we can't accept them because they are in a nappy. So basically, we need the stimulation center, because we are a stimulation center, not a school, because there's a difference between a school and a stimulation center. So our job as a stimulation center is to stimulate the child, is to train the child, potty train the child, or stimulate those with cerebral palsy. So I would say definitely we need to have more stimulation centers so that they can feel safe, so that they can be taken care of. Because I've personally with my experience with my sister, those people really need love. Like, honestly, they really need to be taken good care of. Because recently I was watching Cutting Edge yesterday. So it's not good. It's very hectic. They need devices, they need wheelchairs, they need many things. So it's not easy for them to access them if they are not in a stimulation center. So if they are in a stimulation center, then it becomes easy, because the therapist comes to the center and then they assess the child, and then they know what exactly they are dealing with. And I think if we do have more stimulation centers, the parents will also feel the need to come out and say that I do have a child living with disabilities, because I think they will think, oh no, they will think I'm there's something wrong with me. Why did I have this child? Of which it's not true.
I've been bewitched.
Yes. You see?
That's the way it goes most of the time.
Exactly. Because our community, they really treat people living with disabilities very badly. Because you take them to mall, they will stare at you, they will look at them funny, as if there's something wrong with them. But if we have more stimulation centers, creating more awareness, teaching them how to treat them, because they are special, but they also need to be treated normally.
True.
Yes, because you can't always feel pity for them, of which they don't like that. We just need to treat them normally. So having more stimulation centers, I think more parents will come out, and providing more support for the parents, showing them that you are not alone. I also have a child living with disabilities. So I think that will also help.
Yeah, no, I mean, really, there's a greater need for just your kind of initiatives and everyone else to rally behind what they're doing there at Queen Madonsela. And I would just urge you listening at home to just whatever you can in terms of just support. There's a greater need. And you're hearing Bongile here talking about the fact that if we could even spread these stimulation centers throughout the community, maybe each and every street has its own stimulation center, that can go a long way in really also just making people to feel a sense of belonging, because at the end of the day, it really, in terms of development, it doesn't help the little one living with a disability for them to really be suppressed and be sidelined most of the time. I think it would really work to even help in their development if they feel a sense of belonging, that warmth, that love, that care. But the 4th of November, a very important day. This is where we'll be seeing the fun walk take place there in Daveyton. Yes, give us those details, man. Give us the details, and how can we rally behind the work that you're doing on that particular day and beyond.
Absolutely, and thank you so much. We're very excited about that. Yeah. And we wish to, let you and your community know that, this is a collaboration, a partnership that is here to stay. So for the fun walk, come through. Everyone is invited. We are on socials as well. So you can get us both on Queen Madonsela and Bonamelo Melisizwe Foundation on Facebook. Bonamelo Melisizwe Foundation is also on Instagram. You can reach out to us there, on our website as well, bonamelomelisizwe.foundation. There's also information there on the fun walk and how you can participate. There's also an interesting raffle. Nice. VW in Benoni has come on board as well. So you can enter a draw. It's only 20 rands. And it's good to know that the proceeds towards that raffle are all going towards the fundraising event. So VW has come on board with that around the Benoni area, and we are grateful for that. We are getting quite a lot of community support as well from individuals and other institutions that we continue to meet with on a daily basis, who are pledging their commitment. So we do appeal to everyone to make time wherever they can and come through on the day. Our contact details, 065-922-8572. That's on me and Sibongile.
074-3546-966.
Awesome.
There we go.
So yeah, they're a dynamic duo here, Powerhouse making a difference in the communities, and we're hoping that really they grow beyond where they are. The next time when we have them here, I want them to just be telling us that, hey, that 4-room is now like an 8-room. It's now like we have even a walking center or whatever where people can just more or less come through, register. There's a drop box where you can drop whatever you need, you need to drop there. That would go a long way. And this is how then we're wishing you guys everything of the best on that particular day. Let me get a parting shot from you. What would you like to say to the community and maybe to parents and family members that are maybe experiencing what you went through with your sister, and may also just be in a moment of confusion right now and feeling alone because it can really feel lonely. So what would be a message to them coming from the Queen Madonsela in terms of how then they should rally and support the work that you're doing?
First of all, I'd like to say they are not alone. And it doesn't start with them, and it won't end with them. We are together in this pain. Queen Madonsela is there for you guys. You can bring your kids, drop them off. We have different services that we offer. We have drop-in. We have 2 types of slip-in, Monday to Friday, and then we have the whole year slip-in. So you are not alone, guys, and feel free to talk. We are here to listen. We also have a parents network that is on WhatsApp. So you can just highlight my numbers, as I've said them, 07435466966, and then I will hook you up with psychologists, people who will help you to deal with the stress that you guys are facing, because I know it's very, very difficult. It's not easy. Yeah. So you're not there, and trust the Lord. Yes, you won't go wrong.
Hallelujah, man. I'm ending it on a spiritual note. I love that. Osbongile, really appreciate you coming into the studio. Don't be a stranger. Do reach out, and then we'll try help where we can, and everything of the best with the foundation. You're making a difference, and I love the fact that you're saying you're not alone, and that is the message that we're just leaving you with at home, to say you're not alone. Bonamelo is here, gave you the details. Do check them out on social media and also on their website. But the 4th of November, very important, that fun walk. And if you do go onto their social media pages and check them out, that's where you get the details in terms of the raffle, in terms of the walk, and how then you can even come through dressed the way you want to dress. Absolutely. And you're most welcome. But really appreciate the work that you're doing, and thank you very much for coming through into the studio. And you are saying that everyone deserves a helping hand. Amen. That is my key takeaway from you, and I really wish you everything of the best with the foundation.
Hallelujah, and thank you so much.
Awesome. Bonamelo Melisizwe coming through there as the founder and chairperson of the Bonamelo Melisizwe Foundation. Not alone this morning, just railing behind this last stretch of the PowerZone with Bonamelo Legodi, the beneficiary center manager at the Queen Madonsela Stimulation Centre for the disabled there in Etwatwa. But Daveyton is the place to be, this being on the 4th of November.
You've been listening to a Power 98.7 podcast. For more podcasts, visit power987.co.za or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.